The first weekend of the dance is finally here, and we have our instant reactions for today's Iowa State performances. I'm Blake Peterson, and this is the Cornfield Sports Pod. How's it going, guys? Great to be back, which I honestly don't remember the last time I was on this show. I know it's been a while, but I've had to lock in a whole lot, like remaining this last semester. Spring break's been going all right. It's been kind of slow, in my opinion, because not a whole lot to do. I mean, I'm not one of those students that's able to afford a whole Florida vacation for spring break like every other student on this university, which I don't even know how they're affording it in the first place. So, but we have the first dance or the first weekend of the dance to keep us busy. So, like I said, we're gonna be reacting to Iowa State's performances on both teams, both men and women's. We'll start on the women's side. Obviously, today with the unfortunate loss against Michigan. Uh, having that being the first round exit, obviously that's not what we were looking for. But let's start with the game that got us into this position in the first place. The first four matchup against Princeton, who is 21-8 in the Ivy League, and they were 12-2 in league play. So the big thing from this, what had me kind of worried in this game to begin with, is obviously the second quarter, like a 27-7 Princeton outscoring Iowa State, 27-7. That's what got me very, very worried in the half, and like that made me question a lot. Is like, are we even able to perform in this tournament, like as we are? Like, should we have been snubbed to the NIT? I mean, as far as the NIT goes, that could have been great on my end personally, because Iowa State probably would have hosted those NIT games, and so we'd get some students there. Actually, no, we wouldn't get students there because it would be during spring break. So I'm still trying to be half, or what's the word? What's the word? I'm trying to contemplate uh, that outcome. But first four is what we got. Princeton, we use that to get into the actual game or the tournament. But yeah, I'm looking at box scores here. Obviously, Audie Crooks being the highlight player, Addie Brown too, with a combined 49 points. Addie Brown and Audie Crooks. That's just business as usual for them, and you just love to see it. Also, I forgot to mention this game was Bill Fennelly's 800th career win. Bill Fennelly. With his 30 years at Iowa State, this is how it's capped off with this 800th career win. I think it's the third most out of uh, current D1 coaches. So huge, huge milestone. Hopefully, Bill's got a few more years left inside him. So, and obviously, a lot of that is thanks to a great coaching staff. You know, it's definitely a big family business as well. You got Billy Finley in there, and then Jody Steyer's been there, like I I think since the beginning of Bill Finley's tenure at Iowa State. So yeah, still looking at some of these box scores. Obviously, Addie Brown, Audie Crooks, making the heavy pointers today. Uh, Emily Ryan had a great performance too. Like, just came in at 9 points, but obviously doing her floor general stuff. Uh, I definitely saw a lot of struggling from Emily Ryan this game too. Like, I feel like she couldn't make a really good pass in this game. Like, towards the end, she had a few turnovers too. She had four, kind of into the second half too. Addie Brown also struggled as well with four turnovers. Uh, so I got Kelsey Jones with five, Ariana Jackson three, Sydney Harris two. So obviously, uh, Audie Crooks, Eddie Brown with the big heavy hitters with this game. Uh, Addie Brown actually played all 40 minutes. She didn't get a chance to sit down, like aside from the timeouts. Uh, some of these Princeton names I can't really pronounce, honestly. Uh, Ashley Che, 15 points, and Fadima Tall, if that's how you say it, came in with 19. They Princeton had four players scoring in double digits. Sky Belker came in with 11. Parker Hill came in with 10. The attendance I'm also seeing, honestly, I don't like the looks of that either. Only 800 in attendance. I mean, I honestly wish Iowa State would have traveled a little better, but we also did have Milwaukee with the men's side like right there as well. So Bill Fennelly's 800th career win takes us to the round of 64. So we played our way in. So the round of 64 against Michigan from the Big Ten. Michigan came in 23 and 10 and 11 and 7 in league play. So let's break down this loss. Uh, Jordan Hobbs. Jordan Hobbs is the highlight of this game. You heard her name everywhere watching this game. Came in with 28 points. Five from 5 of 10 from three. Like, if I could even talk. No turnovers. Like she was very good with the ball this game. She played almost the entire game, 38 minutes. Olivia Olson came right behind, 39 minutes. So she barely got a chance to sit down. Olivia Olson, by the way, 16 points. Greta Camp Schroeder, 13. Mila Holloway, 12 points. Silas Swords, 11. Yeah, five players scoring double digits, and that's all of them. Actually, no, it wasn't. Uh, yeah, there's a few more players who got some points. Everyone who scored for Michigan in this game scored in double digits. So that's great out of them. Obviously not for us. Let's take a look here. Audie Crooks 28, Ariana Jackson 12. A problem that I saw with this game, uh, towards the end, I heard they couldn't really miss. Michigan couldn't really miss from beyond the arc, and like in points in general. And so a lot of it has to do with like just guarding the arc, and that will help out so much. And that's what helped Michigan really pull away like towards the end. So what I did like seeing from our women's side against Michigan, everyone got a little bit of playing time. Eiley Tanky got a couple 3 pointers. And that's all she scored that game. But I like seeing some minutes coming from her. I will say that's a problem that a lot of the fans had with this game. As I was scrolling through Cyclone Twitter, this game was pretty whistle heavy, at least in the beginning. Uh, Fans speculated that there was a lot of soft calls, uh, not even that much into the game. So, uh, Audie Crooks had two fouls pretty early on in the game, so she had to take a seat early, and so she kind of had to watch herself like throughout the entire game. But really, in the fourth quarter, all Michigan had to do was just outscore us by 9 points, like just to stay ahead in the final stretch. So you really hate to see the loss. I hate for the season to end this way, especially for Emily Ryan, who's done more than I can even name for this team. Uh, she drove herself to an eating disorder, like just to be at her best, but obviously that ended up sending her back at the time. But us as a fan base, like we understand that struggle, and we're there for her, like we're understanding. Uh, but but yeah, on to the postseason. Hopefully the transfer portal won't be too bad. As far as us losing players, like we'll get a few more in uh, come next year. So that is so far the end of game coverage for women's basketball. and then we'll update you guys along the way as we go into postseason. So, men's side against Lipscomb. Before we get into this one, the story behind this one is GoFundMe, as our two presidents with the GoFundMe to actually get to Milwaukee. But before that, the GoFundMe actually started with the Big 12 tournament. So the GoFundMe actually started with the Big 12 tournament when the people behind the people in the student section that dress up as the two presidents, Joshua Jefferson, Deshaun Jackson. So they made a GoFundMe and actually got a decent amount of funds to actually go down to the Big 12 tournaments, and they got a little TV time down there. And so like, hey, why not do it for Milwaukee? So they went for it. They got a little more funding, mostly from Cyclone Jim Carrey, which huge shout outs. He's such an amazing guy. Amazing guy who actually cares for the student section and wants the best for them. So they got more funding for Milwaukee and ended up getting a little more TV time there. One of them, Paul Chappa, got the TJ Otzelberger shirt from when he played in college. TJ saw it and actually signed it. There's pictures of that as well. And so I'm just sitting there thinking like TJ's got to think this is some kind of prank. So, but it's there like with his picture on a T-shirt from college. So I've I had a little bit of time digesting that as well. But Nick Metzen, Brendan, and Paul, I believe, uh, those were the students that made the trip with the president's outfits. So they are absolute soldiers. So I wanted to at least get that out there. But Lipscomb, 25 and 10, 14 and 4 in league play. So we had the Rizzler, we had uh, Luca from the team out east, and a number of others. Seeing their brackets and how they all had Lipscomb winning, they were hoping for an upset, and so glad I could upset a couple brackets there. Y'all sleep on this too much. Just saying. So obviously the highlight of this game, we got to give it to Cade Kelderman. We have to give it to Cade Kelderman because the walk on from Waukee, he comes in with 5 points, but his tremendous effort in this game uh, is just is just beyond what's expected of him. So he had 5 points, 3 steals, and 1 for 2, 3 point range, two for 4 in field goals, and also had 18 minutes of playing time. So TJ obviously likes what he's seeing from him in practice, and I also want to say for crunch time, garbage time, you like seeing all the bench warmers down there: Damari Watson, JT Rock, Noyes, and Caden Fish. But Conrad Hawley finally gets playing time. Finally, finally, finally. And we haven't seen Conrad Hawley since the first game with his shoulder injury. So TJ finally gets him some minutes on the courts, like after being the absolute hype man of a lifetime this season, and really these past few years. And so I don't really know what to expect from Conrad after this year, because I don't expect him to stay next year, because like I can't really see a walk on going on for his fifth year. It's like, especially after this, I feel like he deserves to be done. He'll still stick around like the Ames area. I have a feeling that Conrad will be involved with We Will and Brent Bloom. That's just my personal feeling. That's honestly just my prediction. But back to breaking this down. But the bigger highlight of this game, Milan Momcilovic, coming into his home states and a pretty Wisconsin heavy crowd. Obviously, they're going to be rooting for him, like since Milan's from Milwaukee, so they've they've all got that connection with Milan, and they all like the Wisconsin crowd wants him to do well. Uh, Milan comes in with 20 points. Curtis Jones right behind him at 17. Joshua Jefferson, Taman Lipsey having 10 apiece. So that's four Cyclones in double digits. Milan actually went 4 for 8 in 3-point range. Uh, Joshua Jefferson came in heavy with the rebounds. He had 8 boards today. Also had 3 steals. So yeah, love this performance from our guys. Just standing on our business, making a statement as the 3 seed in the South region. So the men will be moving on to the round of 32 against either Ole Miss or North Carolina. So as I'm checking the score right now, Ole Miss seems to be pulling away with this one. So our opponent will likely be Ole Miss on Sunday. Ole Miss is the 6th seed. So that'll be on Sunday. We will stay in Milwaukee for that. And hopefully get to the second weekend of the dance. Before we cap off today, kind of want to give my reaction to a few of the games yesterday. I want to start with Kansas against Arkansas. Uh, as far as the Big 12 goes, not a really good look with the Big 12, but I have a feeling a lot of Cyclone fans like seeing the Kansas lose in the first round. So I feel like a lot of them are calling for Hunter Dickinson to finally look for a job, to finally get on the LinkedIn. And so there's Kansas. Drake yesterday, very great performance against Missouri. Uh, Caleb Grill, former Cyclone, Caleb Grill. I saw a lot of emotions from him. Like I feel like with Caleb Grill yesterday, like he was just angry just to be down against Drake, and so I feel like he was playing with a little more anger than I saw from him, which honestly that's nothing new from him. But yeah, love seeing Drake. I heard a lot of Drake bars were going crazy down in Des Moines too. Uh, so you just like seeing a D2 school getting into the second game of the dance. And this is actually Drake's first time advancing in the NCAA tournament since 1971, I think. So love seeing that from our fellow Iowa school. Uh, and then the first game from yesterday, Creighton and Louisville. And so Louisville was a game that many expected that Louisville to actually pull away from. So you see Louisville and Clemson being some of the top contenders of the ACC, and Louisville being a pretty big powerhouse in college basketball in recent years. Uh, but not the case yesterday against Creighton. I've got personal fandom, some personal fandom for Creighton, so I obviously want to talk about this one. Uh, so love seeing Creighton's performance, especially after dropping the Big East championship in New York. This was a great way for them to bounce back, but I kind of pity them a little tomorrow as they have to go up against the 1 seed Auburn. Good luck, guys. Good luck, guys. But uh, great statement from Greg McDermott as well. Greg McDermott used to coach at Iowa State. Used to be heavy around the Ames area. His son Doug McDermott obviously graduated from Ames High. Was about to play for Iowa State, but when Greg McDermott got the coaching change, ultimately went to Creighton. Doug McDermott followed him there, and Doug McDermott becomes a legend at Creighton and as in the entirety of college basketball. So love rooting for Creighton. Love rooting for Greg McDermott. Uh, There's a few Cyclone coaching staff. Bill Fennelly and TJ Otzelberger have great relations with Greg McDermott as well. So kind of hard for me to hate Creighton. Like it's hard for any Cyclone to hate Creighton, and it's hard for any Cyclone to hate Drake at this moment too, uh, except for Caleb Grill. But you get the point. But I'd say that's for the most part what we've got for our instant reaction so far. You know, the women's team drops the weekend. Their season is over, unfortunately, but the men will be back on Sunday, probably against Ole Miss. So that'll do it for today's instant reaction for the dance. Be sure to follow us on C Sports Pod on Twitter. Be sure to follow Matt as well, since Matt couldn't make it today. Follow him at SF Matt ISU. Follow me at Blake Attack 1846. You know what? Follow Cody too. Fake Matt Campbell, just because. Uh, Subscribe to us on YouTube and Rumble, and give us a follow on Spotify and Apple, and wherever else you listen to your podcast. So I'm Blake Peterson, and this has been the Cornfield Sports Pod. Take care.